ready. I'm going to start in 3, 2. Hey, Josh. So talk to us about SEO. Tell me one or a couple tactics or strategies that will help bring in new patients and help us better utilize SEO.
Hey, Michael, man, thanks again for the invite. I thought with this one, because I know we've been kind of hitting all different aspects of SEO and everybody's bringing tremendous value to these episodes, but I thought wrapping up this month, we would step back and ask the question, what do you mean? So a little shout out to Justin Bieber there, every time
how does that song go?
I'm probably not going to sing it, man. I know what you're trying to do. I see what you're trying to do here.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's really important to kind of back up, because in my experience, I get on phone calls and I have conversations and somebody says, I want good SEO. And another person says, I want good SEO. And they actually are talking about two different things. And there's actually about 3 or 4 different things here. So my thought was, let's just go a little high level. I'm gonna give you 4 points. This will help your listeners really even be able to intelligently talk about what it is they're really looking for to their agencies or whoever they're working with, and hopefully just cut out any miscommunication at all.
Gotcha. So there could be a miscommunication in the sense if someone says like, hey, I want SEO, and they're like, okay, cool. And then they're like, hey, what's up? It's been 7 months. I haven't seen anything. Was it because of miscommunication?
It definitely could be. And I think the whole conversation of like, I want good SEO and that's it, is probably a 5 to 8 year old conversation, to be honest. SEO has evolved so much that now there's different facets of it. There's different strategies behind it. There's different goals with it. So I think we just need to take the conversation one step, like level up, and then that's going to help everybody.
Okay. All right, man. Let's get into it.
Cool. So the first one is just SEO for your entire site, like just the website in general. And this is probably what we think about the most when we say SEO. But, like if you have a general dental site that is scoring for general dental terms, dentistry, dentist near me, best dentist, those things, that type of SEO is one thing. Right. So somebody came to me and said, hey, I want my site to score better. There are tactics we can do there. One of the things here, probably that it works amazing, is blog articles. Adding that fresh content every month or weekly to a website keeps it fresh. Video on the site is scoring well. So those are the things. And this is probably 60-70% of the SEO conversations fall here. We all know this, but let's just define it's SEO for my main website.
Gotcha. So that is number one when they say like, hey, I just want SEO from, and that would be like the main thing, right? Because it's like, hey, I want to be noticed by Google the most, do this on the entire website. And within that number one, I'm sure there's like a lot of little things that you do with that, right?
Right. Yeah. But it kind of goes into number 2, which is SEO for specific services. So like a week ago, I'm on the phone with a client and he's talking SEO. And finally I was like, hey, are we talking about for your just main family dental site, or are we talking about these specific services? Because he would kind of switch in and out of like, well, Invisalign and implants and all that. I'm like, well, so we're talking kind of 2 different things here and 2 different strategies. Your GP website for your practice can score well for those terms. But if you're looking at good SEO for like dental implants and Invisalign, some of those more specific services, there's a whole different strategy there. And a lot of that is building out landing pages or microsites and putting, media-rich content on them, call to actions, like just education, like making them function more like mini websites than just a page with 2 paragraphs of information on it.
Gotcha. So that one's interesting right there. So if someone's like tomorrow, oh, hey, I need, you know what? We had a team meeting, consultant came in and we want to do more Invisalign patients. Would that be in the SEO strategy?
Well, see, it's different than the SEO for your main site, right? Because you're going, hey, we want to actually score well for Invisalign. Your marketing company may or may not know that. And to really do that well, you've got to give Google relevant content around Invisalign, right? So like your GP dental practice site is not going to do that with just 1 paragraph of like, oh yeah, we do Invisalign too. So now you've got to go, okay, how are we going to score well for Invisalign? Let's build out a microsite or landing page. Let's get educational content there, even its own separate blog articles. Now we're going to start making some traction with Google. So it's a different type of SEO.
Is there a way, Josh, we can have it all? Like, hey, I want that, and like, I want to score good for implants, and I want to score good for Invisalign, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's really a combination of those strategies. You know, it would be building out those microsites and the education around them. It would also be blog articles and all the things you got to do for a normal site to score well.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So then, what would be number three?
So then three is SEO for local mobile searches, you know? So thinking about so many areas, if they're urban, suburban areas, you could have upwards of 70, 75% of people finding your site on a mobile device. And most of those people are finding it through maps or something other than a browser on a
Mhm.
phone. So now we're like at a whole different like style of SEO where it's not traditional Google, just what Google's ranking. It's your Google business listing, it's reviews, it's proximity, it's those types of things. So, and some of this is Michael's been Google's attempt at just mixing it up. Google doesn't want people hacking SEO either. Like they don't. And some of these are
Hmm.
just moves away from that to go, hey, we're actually going to reward businesses that have a lot of legit local reviews because those are going to rise to the top. And so sometimes people are talking about SEO, and I'm like, wait, are you talking about like popping up on somebody's phone first, or are we talking about popping up at the top of somebody's desktop computer? Because sometimes I'm like, man, I think mobile SEO is a much better investment than just desktop.
Yeah, 100%. Because we're all on our phones, right? So how does that work? Mobile S, like, yeah, how does that work in the sense if we're talking to the marketing agency and we're like, hey, I want good SEO on mobile, like, and then we're like, how would we even know if everybody in that community? Well, probably right, they're on their mobile, but like, how does that work?
Yeah, Google's going to return searches to you based on a couple things. Reviews definitely play a role in that, but also proximity. If you're on your phone and like, let's say I'm here at my house and I search pizza, I'm going to see the closest pizza spot, number one.
Mhm.
Probably the top two or three are just going to be what's closest in proximity, but they're going to be ranked with reviews because Google knows I'm not going to drive 15 minutes to get a pizza. Like I want like the closest one I can get, right? So there's some of that, but also just even your business citations add into that as well. So that's where that still comes in. So those are different strategies also, and most agencies will split that out now. They're like, well, here's our local SEO plan, which is going to address those things. Here's our website SEO plan, which addresses other things. So
Gotcha. Okay. And
yeah.
then point number four.
And then the last one, man, this is going to trip you out a little bit, but it was just it came out last week where it's like TikTok is now, and I'm gonna mess this up, so don't quote me on the number, but it's like TikTok is now the fourth largest search engine out there.
What?
And so, you know, whether it's fourth or fifth or sixth, it's right in there. But like it was enough that people were like, whoa, serious? And so here's the thing too, is we're talking about SEO, like the end all is the top spots on a desktop search of Google. And the thing is, and for the most part, that's been true. Like there's, you know, we all know like Google owns 90% of it, but we're just getting into space now where it's like search engines like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and now TikTok. People are looking for stuff on TikTok. And I don't think we're that far off from legitimately people in TikTok going dentist. And then you're going to see your feed of friends and family and their network. You're going to see those returns first. So you're going to be like, oh, you know, Joe last week just posted this when he was at his dentist or something like that. So even using Instagram that way, and so I think it's short-sighted to just think the world is going to be run by Google on that desktop search of being in one of the top two spots. We think about SEOing for services, we think about SEOing for local, and we think about other places people are searching. That's a much better overall SEO strategy.
Dude, it is so crazy you said that right now. I was like on Instagram not that long ago. Dentist, if you just type it, this came out like I think today, right? Or yesterday, where like now it tells you like the proximity of the dentist. This one's
Yeah,
called In Motion Dentist, 9.9 miles, view information. It tells you their pricing, open until 5, and
yeah,
pictures of them.
yeah,
And that's on Instagram. And so TikTok is number 4. I didn't even know like people are searching like, you know what I mean? For
yeah.
stuff on
And
TikTok.
and dude, it's just it makes sense because information search is so powerful and it's so lucrative too, which is why Google's into it. And so these guys will get, and so I'm kind of going, hey, 10 years from now, the top 10 most popular search engines are going to be, it's going to be way more evenly spread. Google probably is still going to control 60% of it, but the TikToks, the Instagrams, the YouTubes, there's going to be way more evenly spread, and we're going to have to address some of those as possible strategies.
So what can we do now as far as being a part of this? Because if you think about it, it's looking like, according to point 3 and 4, it's going to be on our phones, right? In the future. And then it's also going to be on social media stuff, right? Or like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. What do you recommend we start doing now for this?
I think some of this conversation was just helping your listeners maybe talk about it at a higher level with whoever's trying to help them, right? If you can go in and go, hey, I want good SEO. I'm like, okay, that's a whole big deal. Let's talk about really what your goals are. That's going to help you. It's going to help them. But secondly, I think it's just, we haven't run out and been like, every dental practice needs to be on TikTok. I'm not there yet, although I think it's going to get there. The platform's still evolving. But those who use it are going to see a return from it, just like those who used Instagram are killing it now. Those who, there are some people that are just now getting into Facebook, and I'm like, dude, we're probably past the prime there. But it's just your content, your brand, the way you engage with patients outside the practice. All those are they're huge marketing principles, strategies that you got to think about.
Gotcha. And then I also like point 2, where you have to be like, that's more like niche down, right? Like be specific on the SEO that you want to get. If you really want to be like a ortho practice, right? Or you want to do just Invisalign for this year or something like, or like for the next couple of years, that's where you got to talk to your agency and be like, we need to create something here for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And Michael, the thing is too, like, you don't have to do all 4 of these, right? If you did one of them really well and you're like, that's what I want. Like, I just want good general SEO on my GP practice. Cool. Or you could just be the Invisalign practice and you're capturing 80% of that search in that area. So it's not like you've got to do all these, but it's just going like, okay, as search is expanding and diversifying, what lanes do we want to be in that are most important to us?
Yeah, definitely. Because I feel like all the time we've always thought of point number 1 as being it all. You know what I mean? Right. Like it's the whole thing. It's our desktop. But you think about it, we really don't. We do sometimes, but like, we're never like, oh, let me drive all the way home to find something really quick on my desktop. No, we're on our phone looking it up. Right. We probably saw it somewhere on social media or something like that. Yeah. So this has really expanded our brain. You know what I mean? Like, as far as like our viewpoint of everything, of how we should be looking at SEO. Any final thoughts on this?
No, man, I think it's a fun conversation. I think there's just always been a lot of like myths and hacking and things like that going on. And so I feel like we're getting into a place where it's a better conversation. There's more education around it, but knowing like what you want and really what your goals are, I think is the first step to getting there, and maybe conquer one of these and then add another lane, but hopefully it helps.
Awesome, Josh. I appreciate your time. And if anyone has further questions, you can find them on the Dental Marketer Society Facebook group, or where can they reach out to you directly?
Oh man, website sae8.com, or I'm on Instagram at Joshua Scott. Hit me up, send me a DM. Tell me you listen to this, and I'll say hi.
Awesome, guys. So go in the show notes below and check it out. And Josh, thank you for being with me on this Monday morning marketing episode.
Thanks, Michael.